they produce music too. They're doing a dance jam, like 8-bit music night in some club in LA. And they're only doing classic Nintendo and like Sega popular game theme songs as the dance jams.
Can you say nerd pussy?
Exactly. Well, nerd is so popular now.
Of course.
It becomes
my son, I tell my son, you're a cool geek. Because he's so smart and he's so, you know what I mean? But he dresses cool and he's real laid back, you know. He's not a bully, doesn't get bullied. But, you know, every now and then I got to take him back to the old school shit, you know, and remind him where he came from, you know. The things that, the graphics and the stuff, and I don't know if we talked about this before, but the graphics and stuff that in today's games, you know, you got all these generators, this, and graphic cards, this, and blah, blah, blah. And one of the hottest games out there right now, it's called Minecraft.
Yeah.
And it's like this fucking 8-bit graphic.
We've talked about that before.
It's so innovative, and they're just like, if you go on YouTube, it'll show you how to make like certain things and how to build stuff, and you know, and it's just amazing, you know. And it takes me back to also the Foo Fighters won a Grammy last year for their album, their something they put out, and they got up there and they says it just goes to show what you can do with a 4-track recorder. You know, because you have all this techno shit and music and all this, you know, and they went into a garage with a little 4-track
Have
recorder.
you heard of the band Ween?
What's that?
Ween.
Have I heard of the band?
Yeah.
Ween. WEEN?
I believe.
No.
They do that too. They got a 4-track and they do all of their, and it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's good. You know, it's like I say, it's not all digital and all this voiceover. Fucking Britney Spears, fucking NSYNC make you sound all perfect. You know,
right?
It's
Auto-tune,
like original. That, and we're talking about
Pro
that too.
Tools, but like old school.
Right. Well, look at and I know I always come back to the music. Look at Black Sabbath, dude. Black Sabbath recorded their very first album in how many hours? 12 hours.
Yeah.
They went in there, they turned all their amps up to fucking 10, they jammed for 12 hours, and they were done. There was no cutting, there was no snipping, there was no editing from one end to the other, and it was done. That's, you know, that's old school. You know, these days, and I know we're going off topic because we were talking about the whole 8-bit and stuff, but anyway, that's, you know, these days the music is just whatever. Anyway, back to Mario's. The Mario fundraiser, is that what it is, you said?
Exactly.
We're raising
Mario
coins to save
has
the
been
turtles.
taken hostage by Koopa. Luigi's trying to gather up a fundraiser to bail him out. The ransom is $5 kajillion trillion billion dollars.
Right.
And it's up to you and I to rescue him.
Right. It's funny that you say that because you see, you go to Comic-Con and holy fuck cakes, do you see some sexy broads? Wow.
Well, I'm telling you, man, when you were going to high school, you wouldn't be caught dead with a comic book in your hand.
Right.
And now today,
it was like a secret society.
It's so cool to be that, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
Let your nerd flag fly.
Yeah. That's what I was telling you. Remember, I said, put your flag on your scooter.
Yeah.
Going. But yeah, you know, I think that would be a really cool thing too. The next thing that I'll be going to, that I'll be talking about, that's of any importance in my life, I imagine. October 11th, I'm actually going to go see. It's a tribute to Led Zeppelin. And so that's going to be really cool. My friend Eddie Hernandez actually went and gave blood and got tickets for that. So that's going to be pretty cool.
He's done that quite a few times.
Yeah. Can I tell that story real quick?
I don't care.
Back in, I want to say 09, maybe. We went to go see Rush the first year. We went to the Universal Amphitheater, the Gibson Amphitheater and the Universal Walk. And anyway, you get the fucking gist. And we got there, and we didn't have tickets at the time. We were going to try and buy some scalper tickets. We were trying to scalp some tickets, and anyway, they wanted like $250 for like nosebleed seats. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going to pay that much for those. So we scratched it that year. We scratched it, right? The next year we go. This is 2011. We actually got the tickets, paid $110 a ticket, right? And then the service fee or whatnot. So we got our tickets. The day we decided to go, Eddie decides to stop drinking 2 days before that because he wants to be sober for the concert. So he's literally detoxing the day of the concert, and I don't know this. I just see him, he's sweating, and so I'm, and I should have known the signs. I should have seen it. And so I'm like, hey, and usually when I see him, I'm like, hey, you want to go get a drink or something, even though I don't drink, I have a few friends that still sip on the Christian brothers. And so he's like, no, I'm cool, so we jump on the metro, we get out there, I won't say, we stop off somewhere, he picks up something, we go back, we get back on the train, and we head out there to the amphitheater. We get inside. They just started Limelight, for all you Rush fans out there, all 10 of you. They just started Limelight. We walk in, we find our seats, we sit down, and all of a sudden I feel an arm and it smacks me. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what's your deal? And I look over, and my friend Eddie's flopping like a fish, man. Literally, he had a seizure, like, in the concert. So I look up, and I see another guy go, hey, can you help me drag him out of here? So the guy's like, yeah, you grab his legs. So I grab his legs, and we pull him out to that Gibson amphitheater. So he's sitting there. The lady comes by, right? And I'm like, can you call an ambulance or something? She starts asking all these questions. Did he do any drugs? Does he do any mushrooms, LSD, and drink? And I said, no. I said, he just drinks. I go, and he hasn't even drank today. So he, after he stops twitching and flopping, right, he like looks up. They got a little mask on him. He's breathing in. He's like, hey, what happened, Marin? What happened? I go, dude, you like flipped out on me. You start flopping like a fish, He goes, yeah, but I'm okay now. Let's go back into the concert, man. I want to finish. It's just Rush, man. It's Rush. I'm like, dude, there's no way. Long story short, I spent that night in a fucking Burbank hospital. So we get there, and I says, they got him all hooked up and everything, right? They got the little hoses in his nose, and they're feeding him fucking IV because he's dehydrated. And so...
Did he give blood for this?
What's that?
Did he give blood for these tickets?
No, these tickets we bought. We bought these tickets. He made up for these tickets because we never made it to the concert. He made up for these tickets by giving blood twice for Judas Priest. Anyway, we never got to see Rush other than for the little 3 minutes that we were there for the Limelight. It was a few days later that, so I'm calling him every day. I'm calling him on his cell phone. You're okay? Yeah, everything's cool. So finally he gets home, right? I finally see him like maybe 2 weeks later, and I know this is going to sound so just wrong. So I go, hey man, did you do any of that you had bought because and he goes, no, look, I still got it. And he's holding a baggie, with what I'm not going to say what it was, but anyway, it's a rich man's drug, I'll say that. And he goes, no, I still got it, look it. And I go, what the fuck are you going to do with it? And he goes, no, I'm going to wait till I get better, then I'll do it. I'm like, all right. So
I need to get healthy to get high again.
What's that?
I need to get healthy so I can get high again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got my priorities in order.
My Uncle Gilbert was like that too. He would for like 10 or 12 years he did that. He'd go and get all strung out, and then literally put a brick through a window like they do in the movies or something. He would like purposely get caught or violate parole just to get busted so he could go to Glen Helen. He'd go and he'd get locked up for 4 or 5 months, just long enough to get sober, get healthy, get his 3 meals a day, and then he'd get out, and the first thing he'd do is he'd go get high again. I don't know where the fuck we jumped off the tracks on that train, but...
Started out with giving blood.
Oh yeah, we started off with giving blood. Yeah, he gave blood to he actually gave blood for these latest Led Zeppelin tickets.
That's a great story. And now, a word from our sponsor.
This episode of Sink or Swim was sponsored by the Warning app. Black Eye Productions have engineered an application for you to navigate those awkward situations when you are at a loss for words. Upon purchasing the Warning app, you will be asked to take a simple personality evaluation. The answers will then assist the app in assisting you, anytime, anywhere. So the next time you're in your boss's office asking for a raise and he just won't budge, simply activate the Warning app and follow the instructions given to you by the app. The app might instruct you to hand the phone to your boss. Your boss might read, warning, you are about to get a black eye.
Copyright Black Eye Productions.
Once your phone has been returned to you, follow the instructions on the screen, which state, place the phone in your pocket, then strike your former employer, leave the premises, and seek new employment.
When you feel you have come up short, activate the Warning app. Available now on iTunes, the App Store, and the Android Marketplace. Listeners, the Wednesday show is under construction. Stay tuned. It's coming.
When you said newsflash, I immediately thought, earthquake? Tornado? What?
Well, the show definitely went through some kind of weather like that.
Well, to put it in the simplest terms, it's under construction. So we're I don't know the easiest way to put it. We're getting it together. We've both had our difference of opinions, and the cool thing about this situation, we managed to weather the storm.
Exactly.
And
on this little tugboat we've got.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, the solution that we had come to, it was the best, for the show, because it's like you say, we have a product that we put in a box and it needs to go out and the audience has to like it. So it is what it is. Not to say that I wasn't hurt or offended by it, but again, we had to. It's one of those few times where.
Well, let's just break it down. I gave you creative license over. I don't want to make it sound like that. I pitched you with the idea of doing the Wednesday show,
right?
And you coming up with all content and material,
correct?
And I was going to be, in a sense, your co-host as you are to mine.
He made me the god of the show, and then he took in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you shouldn't have done
it's
that.
Under the Sink or Swim label. In a sense, it has to fit under that framework,
right?
Because it reflects that show.
Of course.
When you put together the concept,
the sporadic,
we sat down on Wednesday show.
I'm dubbing it the sporadic episode.
Don't go there yet, because on Wednesday you had a format, and I'm obsessive. Marin is more spontaneous. So those two separate minds trying to collaborate together is going to make this show interesting.
We either make this show very, very good, or we don't make it at all.
So we sat for like 2.5 hours before we launched into actual pushing the record button, and my mind is like, okay, well, let's set down a structure and then move forward. Marin is like, well, I don't really have a frame of reference. Let's just push record. Let's just do this.
Right.
And
I'm like, wait. Go. I want to go.
I can't think like that. and
then I hit the go and I go, okay, what do I do?
Right.
Which was a prefix.
Okay, Wes, where's the go from here? We're recording now.
And Wes is like, well, fucking, you had a plan. Go with it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Needless to say, we actually had a recording done, and through the powers that be, those recordings got lost.
Well, that was the second show.
Destroyed.
That was the second recording, because the first recording we had stuff put down, except we went along and Marin started talking about his relationship, and we figured that'd be better for the Saturday show, and thusly we edited it out and put it in the Saturday show, and then we lost that recording, which was left over. What was left over from that material? Now, Marin has, when it comes to talk show and podcasting, he doesn't have that much of a frame of reference. His history when it comes to media is mainly music, and I've got a decent amount of music culture, but mostly what I grew up on was listening, and I've talked about it before, Howard Stern and Adam Carolla, and all the new podcasts that are starting to come to be. So, in Marin's defense, launching into a show without a frame of reference, and then having me with...
I'm a fucking dullard when it comes to podcasts. Just say, I really don't have any clue. And again, when you approached me for doing this, you said, well, look, this is what we're going to do, and it was the first time I ever even heard of a podcast. I'm like, what the fuck is a podcast? I don't know what that is.